This is your sports TV station in Lorain, WLCS TV 20.
Good evening and welcome to George Daniel Field. It's Halloween 2014. The frost is on the pumpkins and there's playoffs in the air, Tom.
What's not to like about it? Last day of October, Lorain's here at George Daniel playing in a meaningful game. You know, what else can you ask for?
You always want your season to end for your seniors with something positive, and there's a lot on the line tonight for the 19 seniors on the Lorain roster. 6-3 on the year, Lorain hosting conference foe Warren Harding in their last conference event as they leave following the football season at 2-7 on the year, but that's a little deceiving, Tom.
I tell you what, they had two forfeits. One was to Maple Heights, and one was to their big rivalry, Warren Harding. So they actually have maybe 4 or 5 wins under their belt, which is, an admirable opponent to be playing tonight.
Yeah, they're 4-3 between the lines, and unfortunately for them, a couple of forfeits. But the playoff thing, 7-3 will get you in. 6-4 probably, but not for sure. The Titans want to take care of business tonight on their own.
And you move up a little bit. You maybe get into the 12 or 11 rank where you play a little team that might be a few losses more. So that's what you're shooting for. You need some help to move up in the rankings.
Talking to some of the Titan players this week, the respect for Warren is very real. They're big, they're athletic. If there's a little bit of an issue, is that they're young. They may be this year where the Lorain team was 2 years ago when this group of seniors were sophomores.
But they're a formidable opponent. Warren Harding, Warren Western Reserve, back in the days when I first started here, they was always a big name in football. They've always come out with big athletic people, and I'm expecting the same thing tonight. But I'm hoping the Titans will just kind of counter that, and we'll have a victory at the end.
So we'll be back here with tonight's kickoff right after this timeout.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill, a breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. Visit bestfriends.org to learn more.
Titan Band seniors will come out with their escorts on the field. First off, Elena Avalos with her mother, Debbie Engler. Brandon Benge with his parents Chris and Cindy Benge. Orlando Borges with his parents Kevin and Monica Borges. Allison Broderick with her parents, Robert Broderick and Sarah McDaniel. Jada Fenderson and her parents, Michelle Bracy and Lamont Fenderson. Jet Garcia and her mother, Janet Garcia. Lisa Jamie and her parents, Brenda and Luis Jamie. Lisa Kazura and her parents, Ron and Judy Kazura. Isaiah Margheim and his mother, Amy Margheim, and his brother, Logan Margheim. Lori Mills and her parents, Alicia Klepper and Matthew Mills. Brandy Palinkas and her father, Ronald Palinkas. Brandy would like to dedicate her performance tonight to her mother, Rebecca Newsom, who recently passed away. Go, Brandy. The Titans are behind you. Damian Pinheiro and his friends Shakira Vasquez and Coral Charias. Dylan Plummer and his mother, Kelly Bring. Taylor Now and her parents, Kanya and Rob Now. Renee Perilla and her parents, Anna and Marco Perilla. Brianna Rivera and her mother, Sonia Rosario. Caleb Reynolds and his mother, Angie Reynolds. Jada Robinson and her parents, Tracy and Juan Robinson. Angel Sanchez and his parents, Maximino and Iris Sanchez. Hannah Shumway and her parents, Rick and Michelle Shumway. Jailene Vasquez and her parents, Eric and Maritza Vasquez. Ladies and gentlemen, your senior class of 2015 Lorain High School Titans Marching Band. I hope I got everybody.
For an appetizer, I'll have this.
Yes, madame. An excellent choice.
And for the main entree, would you recommend this?
Oh, yes, indeed. You won't be disappointed.
In many cases, today's car thieves are very discriminating with expensive tastes. Help us put a stop to this free lunch. If you suspect car theft or insurance fraud, call us at 1-800-TEL-NICB.
Good evening and welcome to George Daniel. It's Warren Harding going to kick from south to north. Number 1, Nate Marchek is the kicker. And deep for the Titans, number 11 is Perry Mincy and number 10 is Kevin Davis. Each have taken one back for a touchdown this year, Tom.
Wasn't it a beautiful one they ran against Cleveland Heights? KD was, hit the seam just like Mincy does and never varied.
I was teasing him during the week that he might have put it in cruise a little early as he got nailed as he crossed the goal line.
Someone had an angle on him. You got to hit. Exactly.
More important than that kickoff almost were those 2 interceptions that he had.
Yeah, you might have made him the defensive player of the game for sure.
But tonight's another night, and for the Titans, the word of the week has been finish. Finish every play, finish your season strong, and hopefully it's not the finish. is hopefully there's a week 11. Good kick down to about the 10-yard line, and Davis straight ahead. 25, cuts it out 30, 33, down there.
Yeah, got up in that scrum.
Straight up the field like we like, Tom.
Well, I'll tell you, here's what you need. The same thing they opened up at Cleveland Heights last week was a 6-minute drive. Now, nothing takes the steam out of the other team's sails as the other team marching the ball down the field and using 6 minutes of the clock.
And a little bit more even is following that 2-hour bus ride that the Raiders had. Now there's an injured Raider on the field over near the Warren bench. One of the players of note for Warren, number 72, Big Javon Prophet, is going to be in the middle of that defensive line. And he is a big gentleman at 6'3", 305, and he's headed Division I. We believe he's the young man who has committed himself to Iowa. I heard a lot about, they've got a really good nose guard all week, and he appears to be the guy.
And he also plays both ways. He's one of the few players that goes both ways, though he'll be an offensive tackle also.
Eddie Williamson with Carlos Chavis and 1,000-yard rusher Sherman Saunders next to him. Give straight ahead. Saunders out near the 40, going to be about 7 if that's where they spot it.
They ran the ball right up the middle, right past our big man, so.
This is who we are.
Yeah.
I'll give him 6, 2nd and 4. Good movement by the line that time. Josh Fenn, Nelson LeBoy, center Roger Jones, Chris Mayer, and Sly Worthy. That's Saunders again. No, that one is Chavis, and he got a yard.
1 yard is it.
They ran the belly for the option. Each of the first 2 plays, once to the right and once to the left, going to be 3rd and 3 at the 40.
What usually comes after this is now the fake that dive and run that Eddie
they'll run the
run
option, yeah. And Eddie Williamson has just, been making such good decisions with the football. And there it is. And he pitches one-on-one. Chavis, that's his man to beat, and that time the defender won the battle back at the 36-yard line, loss of 4, and the Titans will punt. So on 4th and 8, Lorain didn't get the start that they had last week against Cleveland Heights. And Williamson will drop back to punt. Tight rushing punt formation, floating snap. Took a while to get there, but Eddie got it off the side of his foot. And it's going to take a bounce and out of bounds about the 30 of Warren. In fact, right at the 30.
Nice roll on that punt. I think he got about 10, 12 yards on that roll.
It's a cold night, and you were remarking about how they practice with the cold and damp footballs. Why don't you go ahead and tell the story while Warren lines up.
First time I've seen this in a long time, but they had a bucket of ice water out on the field on Monday and making the center dip his hands in the ice water to center a wet ball for a night just like this.
Yep. Okay, Warren in the power pistol formation. Running back number 34, Kalen Simpson, moves to the left side. Quarterback goes under center. And it's going to be out of the eye. Give to the tailback straight ahead. He's got 13, 14 yards before Orsler rides him down. That's number 33, Kamari Murray.
This is the type of team that Warren is also. They're a running off-tackle type team.
And they, too, signal the plays in from the sidelines. I formation, 2 receivers, now motion, and it's the same fullback lead, and another nice gain of about 5 or 6 straight ahead for Murray.
Problem with these, a lot of times these running teams, if they don't fumble the ball, there's no chance for interceptions, and there's no chance for turnovers.
And it shortens the game.
Yes.
Much as you said last week, Cleveland Heights didn't get the ball till half the quarter was gone. 2nd and about 5 for Warren. There's the give again to the tailback. Big hole up the middle, crossing into Lorain territory. Gain is to the 40. Now call it the 41. Gain of 10 and another first down. And Lorain hasn't solved the running yet of Kamari Murray.
They fake that jet because the slot there looks like he has a lot of speed.
Yep. Same formation, twins to the near side now. I formation, turn, give. Murray again inside the 35 to about the 33. Well, certainly the Harding is playing their game, but they're taking a page out of the Lorain book here with the hard inside running. And it's one of the things that Lorain has had difficulty stopping
actually, yeah.
because of the the three-man front, and now they got four with the man with the hand on the ground, man in motion, run away from motion. This is another thing that teams have done in recent times against Lorain. Aaron Neal upends Murray, but not before he picks up another first down. The Maple Heights very successfully in the first half. Tom ran away from the motion of the.
You keeping the drive?
So, first and 10 for Warren at about the 27. Man in motion again, and there's the jet sweep that we've been expecting, and Rashad Berry's got him.
Yeah.
Rashad has done a really nice job all year of penetrate, turn in, and keep them contained. And right there, with just enough speed, as you said, that looked like a pretty quick player, and Rashad ran him down. For a step or two he ran with him. There you'll see it. Rashad gets off the block in a hurry, penetrates, and
that's their first loss, and that sets them a little bit off schedule.
Yes.
Second and 14
is not 2nd and 5.
Yeah. So now are they going to have to throw, or are they still going to rely on that off tackle?
Well, that's Murray, and he's not going to get back to the original line of scrimmage. He's going to pick up about 1.5 yards. Inside of the defense, Aaron Huff, 28, was right there. Kenneth Washington, 13 as well. Naz Bohannon. And it's going to be 3rd and about 12. And it's not too early to wonder if they're in 4-down territory, although they were.
I think they're going to have to put the ball up in the air because you see the quarterback steps back out.
Now they go into the gun, and looks like they're going to run out of it for the first time. Straight back to pass. Lofts a long one. He's got a man. Just must have got caught up in the wash, and the quarterback threw it away. So it's going to bring up 4th and 12. Inside the 30. Surprised they didn't go for part of it.
I would have marched down and make 2 passes out of that, and get a 6 or 7 and then another 6 or 7. But I think what happened, he ran into either Sam or
he got caught up in there,
and Neal back there at safety.
So it's 4th and call it 13 at the 29, and Warren to go for it, and why not from that field position? A lot of time. Now the pocket breaks down. Sack. Kenneth Washington.
No, he's not the biggest defensive.
I was going to say all 175 pounds of him.
But he may be the quickest.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. And he had a big sack last week at Cleveland Heights.
Didn't he ever?
So the Titans hold and take over on downs at about the 34-yard line for their second possession, right about 1 yard away from where they took it the first time. Williamson in the backfield. He's got Saunders and Chavis. Receivers to the near side, it's Barry and Neal. Give straight ahead. Carlos Chavis, or that's Sherman. Saunders out to the 40.
Sherman came into this game pretty high up on the Lear Chronicles running.
That's Carlos trying to pick his way. He's going to be out. Looks like he might have a first down across the 45. He finished it with a spin and a fall forward. They're going to spot it right at the 45, but that'll move the sticks for the Titans. First down of the game. Picking up the tempo a little bit now. Williamson fakes Barry and then gets plowed under. Never had a chance, and that was one of the backers. 46, Jalen King, a linebacker, knocks Eddie back at the 38. Going to bring 2nd and 17. A little trickeration going on here as they faked Rashad Berry, and they were looking long, and he never had a chance to find Aaron Neal.
Aaron was going to run a little post, I think, on that.
Looks like they want to send pressure. Williamson again to throw, steps up, runs away, going to bring it down 40-50.
Oh, he
lost the
ball.
football, though. Just dropped it.
Yeah. He was going to make a little cut and seen some green grass over there.
I think he tried to switch hands, and it just fell out. We'll get a look at it on the replay, but Warren recovers at the 50. Here we go. Williamson with the 3-step drop out of the gun. Doesn't hesitate, brings it down, runs into Saunders, and then hides behind him. And it just was stripped. Yeah. Somebody got a hand on it. So Warren in great field position at the 50 for their second possession. I formation. Gives straight ahead. That's Murray. He's got 5.
Yeah.
Andres Torres in on the tackle. Sterling Jeffries in there. And it's 2nd and 5. 5:35 to go. First quarter. We're scoreless. Just reminiscent of the start of the Euclid game for the Titans. First couple of possessions. There's a first down and more. That's Kalen Simpson, 34, the backup tailback. He's got a first down right at the 35.
Yeah. Aaron had a nice tackle, but you don't like to see tackles 15 yards downfield.
That's one of those cases where if he's going to be our leading tackle, let's move him closer to the line. Now the power pistol. Twin receivers right, one to the near side. Whistle dancing before the music played, and Warren's going to go back 5 yards for illegal procedure.
Guys, you got to start over again.
I hope this doesn't come back to bite us, but this putting them back off their schedule,
right,
forcing them to pass, doesn't look to be their forte.
Right. There's a give straight ahead. Nothing there. Going to give him a yard maybe. Orsler was in there. Torres again in on the play. Going to mark it right at the 44. Really nice job by the center of the defense. Aaron Huff there, 28. 2nd and 14. He might have got away with moving early again.
I said the same thing. And he was hitting Acton in the backfield.
Yeah, there's a flag now as the run goes inside the 30. And he's got a holding penalty against Warren, so it's going to all go for naught. Instead of inside the 30, it's going to be just inside the 50 when they mark it off.
He did have a nice little run because he was hit dead in the backfield.
There it was right there. He shed.
Yeah. And here's another one he shed.
He bounced off Sterling Jeffries, and that's not usually the case. Sterling hit high and didn't ramp.
I'm just going to leave that there.
Okay, now this really sets him off here.
Yeah. Okay, Coach, what do you got on 2nd and 24? And backers step off a little bit. 3-man front for Lorain. 4 wide receivers for Warren. They're going to run the quarterback keep off the zone read.
Looks like he was going into a slide.
Yeah, he lost his gription for sure. Field a little bit wet, not muddy for certain. Howard Senich and the guys do a great job out here in Game 10. This is wonderful for natural turf.
Beautiful field.
I mean, it's nice and short.
Yeah.
3 receivers to the right on 3rd and 17. There's the same play again, and he went down. And then
you know what I was thinking they were going to call?
Yeah.
Because he did go to his knee.
Well, they both slipped. I mean, Rashad Berry went in and hit the quarterback as he was on one knee, but he slipped as much as the QB did.
He did that smart thing. If you see the replay, he puts his arms up, meaning I didn't mean it.
Yeah, and he didn't hit him hard. I mean,
yeah.
So Warren will have to punt for the first time this evening. That's a very short punt formation. Kicker is 10 yards behind the ball. Davis and Mincy, it looks like, for Lorain. And Rashad almost got a piece of that. Ball not fielded is going to cost the Titans about 10 yards. As Warren downs it just inside the 10. And Lorain's field position won't be good, although there is another holding penalty against Warren signaled. Now this is different because this is not the spot where you would expect a holding penalty on a kicking team, but I very definitely saw the man in the black hat indicate it was on Warren.
So the rules here is decline or accept it?
Every time she's here.
Every time I'm here, somebody's here.
I think choice number one would be to make him kick it again.
I would think so too. You're inside your 10-yard line. They declined it. No, they didn't. It was on the 20.
You know what they did was they take the 10. They spotted at the 20, so they took the 10 from the spot of the punt, is what it appears to be. Now they've got 2 footballs out there.
We had another game where there was a lot of confusion on a play that eventually worked its way out.
There are three officials that are huddling, the man over the ball and then the man on the near sideline. So at least they have a quorum.
Well, another one.
It was your fault.
Now they break out. Now they're going to take it back to the 9 and spot it. Which, by declining it, that's where it should be.
See, I thought that was the rule there. You take it or you decline it on the kicking team holding, because that's a defensive hold now.
So, you're right, Tom. I mean, the call turns out to be defensive holding. So you either take it from the spot or you decline it. And I think in the confusion, I'm going to guess that Coach Solis said, or Coach, I did it first time all year. Coach McFarland said, we'll take the ball. And that's not how the message got across.
Well, they had some nice long drives against Cleveland Heights last.
Yes, they did. They had a couple of 85-yarders in the second half that really sealed the deal. Kevin Davis's first interception turned it over just inside the 15. They went at 86, and then the next time Kenneth Washington sacked, turned it over on downs on the 15, and they went 85.
That was a nice goal line stance.
Yes,
they
it
had
was.
too.
Williamson, student body straight ahead. Not going to have much. Maybe he gets across the 10 for a yard. We'll give him one because we like him and call it 2nd and 9.
He doesn't care. He's too busy getting sky shots.
Now, the young man that was injured on the kickoff is being wheeled around the track on a stretcher. So we have no more information than that, although it looks like there might be an immobilizer on a leg. Full house shotgun for Williamson. There's the bad snap into the end zone. Eddie's going to try and get rid of it. He's got a man. He's got a man that might go. That's Rashad Berry. And when Rashad Berry stops, he's going to be in the house.
I see no flags because that's what I look for all the way.
Eddie Williamson, 90 yards to Rashad Berry, and it looks, well, there's an official right here. I think he just got tired and stopped. That's a long way, especially when you're back in the end zone. And we've talked all year about the poise and composure of Eddie Williamson. And watch this replay. Snap over his head. I'm hoping he can get to it for a safety. He picks it up, rolls, kept presence of mind to look upfield, and Rashad has just got nothing but stripes ahead of him. He had a convoy 90 yards to the end zone.
he is so deceptive, because I think he probably has, sub 4.5 speed.
Well, that's what he if you talk to him, he does.
Yeah.
And we've talked about, well, what are they going to do with you next year? And they're going to make me a football player. Offense, defense,
he doesn't care yet.
Inside, outside, doesn't know. So how quickly the worm has turned here as what appeared to be just absolute disaster for the Titans.
Well, you heard me say, uh-oh.
Yeah, it turns into about as good as it can get. 90 yards, longest touchdown of the year for Lorain. And Williamson will set up with Chavis to his right, trips to the near side. Saunders, Barry, and Neal inside out. Eddie's going to run the option, pitches to Carlos, cuts it up. Nice cut by Carlos for the 2.
I thought when Eddie was running backwards, he was going to scoop up the ball and run out of the end zone to the safety. But presence of mind, what a smart kid he must be.
How about a 10-point swing right there?
Yeah, exactly.
And now you're giving up the ball on a kickoff instead of from the 20. I mean, the 2 points for a safety always hurt you, but almost as bad, if not worse, is kicking from the 20-yard line, which almost in high school guarantees your opposition to start right around midfield.
Well, we don't have to worry about that right now.
Yes. So, what did I say at the beginning of the game, Tom? The word of the day is finish. Well, Eddie Williamson finished what he started there, picking that football up. And 90 yards later, Rashad Berry finished in the south end zone. So it sure made whether we should have taken that penalty moot, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Yeah.
Saunders will kick from the north to the south. Twin receivers about the 15 for Warren. They've got to be stunned as quickly as that turned around.
On his fumble.
Sherman just missed, and we're going to get the ball. Sherman just missed the ball, and we got it.
No, I disagree.
You think that was planned?
Because I watched them for 2 practices, Monday and Thursday. They practiced it onside over and over and over again. But maybe he just missed.
Well, let's take a look at it. It didn't look like he hit the top of the ball. It looked like he hit the side of the ball, which is why I said he missed. But the ball went 18-19. Now, well, I guess Warren ended up on top of it. I'm not sure. Let's see. That's bouncing around. It's free. And it sure looked there like Lorain had it, but guess somebody on the bottom of the pile won a fight. So Warren starts out down 8-0 on their 41. Boy, that would have been a backbreaker for them. Tight formation eye. Flip near side, short side. Did a good job sealing the end.
Beautiful hit.
Aaron Neal come up and hit. Aaron Neal stops 34 Simpson for a gain of about 2 when it looked like something might be developing there. And this is a collision. This is not for the faint of heart here.
Wow. Now, Aaron doesn't have the most tackles on the team because I read the list. Aaron Huff does, but he sure hits the hardest.
Yes, he does. And he's getting a good head of speed from that.
From safety position.
Yeah, here's the I formation trap play straight ahead for about a yard. Torres, Washington in the middle on top of it. Good job by the tackles. And it's going to be 3rd and about 7.
Yeah. Actually, Aaron, I was reading the Chronicle where he had a lot of the statistics. Aaron Huff is leading the team with 77 tackles, and Jeffries was 68. So that's inside. Backer should be getting the most tackles on the team.
Going to fake and run the boot, and then throw back for a screen, and this is going to be trouble. But there's a block. There's a flag on the block. It's going to be a first down. But unless I miss my guess, the big fella with number 76 on his back, who doesn't look very happy, did something he shouldn't have.
Actually, if they replay this, watch Nas on this. He had an inkling that he should cover that man. He got caught up. He checked him a little bit.
Well, that might be what the holding was pulling Nas away from the receiver here.
Maybe that was it.
As he did look like he felt the screen coming on, and it's one of those things now that the walk-off is back to the 33, brings up another one of those 3rd and 18s. Lorain 8-0, 32.9 seconds to go first quarter, and the clock is been signaled to begin.
See, Lorain jumps into their 3-man line on the passing formation, passing down.
Backers step off, quarterback rolling far side, wants to go long and does. He's got a man. He overthrew him. Didn't get a lot of help from his receiver.
He didn't even put his arms up.
Mincy was out there with him, but he was behind everybody.
Yeah.
Looks like number 6, Mark Heron. And you see the boot. And had to be a good job by the tackle because that's Rashad's side. And he wasn't in the frame. So 4th and long. And once again, Warren will punt. Now, the last time they did this, it was near. Now he's
still at 10.
Yeah, he's real short to me. And Rashad was close the last time. He's going to have a chance. He missed it. It went under him. Fair catch called for and made. Nice decision right there.
Aaron Neal.
I'm
always saying his name.
And you know what? That was a yard past the first down marker where Lorain will take over. So you sure can't complain about the job the defense just did on the missed onside kick. The Titans take over on the 42, leading 8-0. And this will probably be the last play of the first quarter. Williamson with the team of Chavis and Saunders on either side. Barry and Neal near side. Williamson's going to take it straight ahead, had a little bit of a seam, got out, crossed the 45 to about the 48, going to be a gain of about 7, second down, and that's going to do it for the first quarter. We've played 1 at the George. Lorain on top, 8-0, back with more after this timeout.
McGruff the crime dog here. We've all heard of identity theft. Now I'm going to show you how those thieves do it. Watch. He's secretly photographing her credit card with his cell phone. Now watch. They pretend they have a package to deliver, and while they're trying to fit it in the mailbox, they're taking her credit card payments and other paid bills. To learn how to protect yourself from identity theft, go to weprevent.org. Keep your identity to yourself and help take a bite out of crime.
The Warriors to Work program makes it possible for wounded warriors and their families to build new lives together.
When my dad left, I was like this big, but now I'm like this big. My dad got a master's degree in human resources.
Thanks to Warriors to Work that my dad has a terrific job.
The Wounded Warrior Project helps him by, giving him another start.
Now that my dad's home, I get a lot more hugs.
I'm really proud of him.
Find out more about Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home, the brave.
Back here at Lorain, the teams have switched ends to start the second quarter. Second and a couple for the Titans. Williamson again, same play, different side. And he's going to have the first down on the continual effort. Broke a little bit of a tackle to turn a 1-yard gain into a 3-yard gain. Actually give him 4 and mark it at the 47. First and 10 Titans. A slow first quarter, with the big play being about as bizarre a big play as you'd see. The 90-yard pass from Williamson to Berry that started out as a disaster. Williamson, option. Saunders to the corner, bows it out, gets to the corner, 45, 40, 35, out of bounds. Sherman Saunders with a first down. That's one of the few times this year that Sherman has given a little ground in the back. And he ran the bow, as you might say there. As you'll see, he gets the ball from Eddie, and he has to get around the outside contain, and he does, and gets what he can get and gets out of bounds. First and 10, Lorain, 35-yard line. Saunders dropped the ball. It was never made the handoff. And it looks like Lorain got on top of it. I'm going to guess it was Eddie Williamson because he's the only one that knew it was down.
Yeah, that's that read option. And
the problem with the read option often is that whether you're handing off or not is entirely made on the fly, so that guy's not going to grab that football like he knows it's for him. 2nd and 10. Chavis, and boy, they've been on to him. He's got nothing.
Wow.
Now there's a flag as they unstack.
Someone's chipping a little bit in there.
And they point at Lorain. So they're still pointing at Lorain. This is not a good thing. Personal foul for Lorain. That's going to cost them back to the 50, I believe. Oh, just the 10. Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, to the 49, back to their side of the 50. So now it's 3rd and 25. So we started the quarter with a first down at the 35, and then we had a near disaster of a fumble and then a big penalty, and it's 3rd and 25. Now we're going to move it back to the near side of the 50. So it's 3rd and a lot. Williamson takes the snap. 3-step drop to pass. He's got a man deep. That's just overthrows everybody. It's too bad that wasn't picked.
Yeah, better than a punt.
Yeah, because that would have been about the 10. Titans will go into punt formation. He was looking for Aaron Neal down the sidelines, but he got some pressure on the far side. They blitzed the backer who got around Sherm Saunders.
Yeah, I think Aaron was well covered on that.
He was, and I think Eddie meant to throw it away. So Williamson in punt formation. Chavis is the up back, but I think a little too far. That's a floater, too. Eddie gets one away under a blocker, and it's going to be caught at about the 16. Brought straight ahead to about the 26 or 27. Number 3, Marlon Richardson, a sophomore wide receiver on the return, and Warren will have it at the 27. 10:30 to go, first half. Lorain 8-0 over Warren.
We have to have a defensive stop here to keep the momentum going.
Okay, now that looks like Sly Worthy coming into the middle of the line for Torres. That's what it is. That defense,
no,
that's
that
not
be,
Sly.
That's Anthony Vasquez.
Is it? 78 instead of 76. Quarterback keep. Quarterback fall down. Rob Orsler with the big hit.
And since we mentioned, I just watched Anthony. He submarined the big man, knocked him flat on the thing, and they tripped over him, actually.
It must have been an equipment problem for Torres because he's back after one play. And that was a big hit by Orsler.
Yep.
Once again. Now, the danger in those big hits like that is both times we've had them, nobody's wrapped up. And it's the kind that every once in a while somebody bounces off of, and then you want to say, how come you didn't wrap him up? Because he was staggering. 4 down linemen for the Titans in the defensive front this time, and again, give straight ahead. This time the tailback in Washington's going to pull him down from the side. Out to about the 40 or 35. 3rd and 3.
That's a defensive strategy with the big tackles. They're taking the big man, trying to take the big man out of the game.
Yeah.
Sacrifice yourself so he doesn't block you and the linebacker.
Well, he's not going to move the pile if he's part of the pile.
Exactly.
Taking a long time to get the play in for Warren. This is a sophomore quarterback, Lynn Williams. And they've had a lot of young players. Steve Arnold said that they started 16 sophomores one game. Offset I, straight back, fake the dig, want to run the boot. They do run the boot off of the receiver's hand, incomplete. Would have been enough for a first down at the 40, but it'll bring up 4th down. And the decision for Coach Arnold is to send the punt team out. Neal and Mincy will go back. Again, 10-yard punt formation. Titans playing punt safe this time, though. There's a kick angle to the near sideline. Got a big bounce inside the 25 down to about the 22 or 23. And Aaron Neal says, I wish I'd have caught that one. But the Titans will be pinned inside the 25, and they'll start at the 22 on this possession. Tom, the Titans haven't had much rushing, have they?
No, they haven't. 17 for Eddie, only 14 for Sherm, and Carlos has about 8.
Yeah, he's found it toughest going. And, of course, Eddie, on his one longish run, dropped the football. So, even more deceiving there. But they got the 90-yarder through the air. I'd rather be lucky than good sometimes, and we're good at running it. Williamson straight ahead. He's got about 5 or 6 out to the 28.
I've been watching what he's doing on that quarterback. He's looking where the big man is on the nose, and he takes the opposite gap.
Yeah.
But to counter that, Warren then is setting the linebacker into the other A gap. And that, I think, he made a tackle. I don't think the big man made the tackle.
Saunders, first down and more, out near the 40. Good hard run that time. And, you know, Tom, last week at Cleveland Heights, you know, you went into halftime and Lorain was up by 14-7. But the offensive line last week just dominated the second half of that game.
Yeah.
There it is again. Williamson wants it, finds a hole just for a couple this time, out maybe the 42 or 43. Looks like they're going to spot him at the 42, gain of 2.
Now, here's an interesting statistics coming out of the paper after this play.
Straight ahead again. This is Chavis, and they're ready for him. Yeah. They seem more... That was a tackle.
Well, you know, Sherm has 980 some yards, and Chavis has 800 some yards, and Eddie has 600. So the Lorain 3 have over 2,400 yards. So that has to be accredited to a strong offensive line, led by what is a sophomore and a junior out there.
Right, the 2 tackles. Nice cut by Williamson. He's got a first down and more. Eddie Williamson inside the 40. And there was a run that'll help the average from the 44 down to the 39.
It was about
17
yards
on the carry. And 1st and 10 Titans at the 39. Clock stopped, 7:23 to go just to set the sticks. And we're ready for play.
Yeah, they're starting to get that up-tempo, run the ball.
And that's Saunders, and he's going to get about 5 or 6 more. Maybe he got the 34. And it'll be 2nd and, let's see where they spot it. They just give him
5, I think, probably.
Yeah, short 5.
You know, this up-tempo wears on a defensive line.
Yes.
Just wears on them.
Williamson follows Chavis. He's got a first down and more. Eddie staggers, but he's the outside. Inside the 15 at about the 12. And good vision that time. Williamson goes down to the 11. 1st and 10 Titans. You can see it. Look at it. The helmet is up. He's looking for a spot. He ran out of our camera angle. And now we get him back, and he's still looking to see how he might be able to get around that last man. There's a problem with something down there. The man in the back judge was waving his hands. Now he's going to wind the clock. Okay, Williamson has him. Fully loaded pistol, as it always is. Saunders to the 5, down inside the 5 to about the 3. Give him 8. The Titans can make a first down without making a touchdown, but there's not a lot of room there. Quick snap, Williamson. Trying to got nowhere, really.
Maybe a yard, if that.
The quick snap didn't help the Titans because everybody from Warren was up and Eddie couldn't see. So 3rd and 2. 4 down territory, of course. Option, Saunders, he's going to walk in. Sherm Saunders in the house.
What a nice play. What a nice play that was.
5:55 left in the half. Number 5 gets on the board on a 2-yard run, and it's pretty in a little option flip, as you can see. Williamson, whoop, there it is, and Sherm will never have an easier touchdown than that one. 14, Lorain looking for the 2. Williamson's out there at quarterback. He's got they run this out of the 3 receiver set to the far side always. Williamson and Chavis are in the backfield. Near side, Neal is by himself. The slant is there if that's what they want. Now they drop a man out into that flat area.
So Eddie right now.
That's exactly what they were looking at, wasn't it?
Yeah. I watched 2 practices this week, and he calls, I would say, 90% of his plays. He gets a hint of what he wants to do.
Right.
And then he goes out there and looks it over and picks which one of the options is best for him. And if they cover everything, you call timeout, and you got a new strategy.
And yeah, that looked to be what it was, because they looked very happy with Aaron Neal isolated, and that linebacker dropped off, and that was the timeout when Eddie turned around and saw it. So we're at 14-0. Timeout as the conversion is what we're waiting for. That drive was all on the ground, wasn't it?
6 rushes.
Okay.
For almost 3 minutes, yeah. Yeah, and Eddie's leading now. That drive moved him way up into the 66 yards for this half so far.
And that's you can't take it all away.
No.
And Eddie, the good decision maker that he is, you saw when they were concentrating on him on the touchdown, flipped it out to Sherm for the score. Now Chavis goes to the far side. There's a whistle as
I think they jumped.
Yeah, it's going to come half the distance as the near side of the Warren defense all jumped on sound. So it'll go half the distance. Call it the 2.
No.
Because it's the 1.5. And Roger Jones over the ball. Now Chavis on the near side. Neal still all alone, but the linebacker has dropped off. 3 receivers, wouldn't be surprised if Eddie's just going to take it himself. Not going to get there. Not going to get there, and so we've played about a 1/4.5, Tom, and the Titans get a 2-score lead, which is a little bit of breathing room, and so much on the line tonight. Talk a little bit more about that as the evening wears on.
Sure.
But
what you ought to mention, I don't know if you had any of those wings and some things out there, but Scorchers.
Yeah.
Who else brings some food?
Applebee's had. I was going to say the riblets are there, so I know Applebee's was here.
Yeah. Excellent. I have to thank them. Last game of the season here at the stadium.
Who bought the pastries, Joe? Applebee's had the pastries too. Okay. Yeah. We got beat out of those. Bob Tomaszewski ate them all.
That's the problem with having the radio here.
He went from Tomo's Tough Nut to Tomo's Donut.
Now, I don't know if the rain's falling, but I see the umbrellas are going
Now
up.
they're going to mark off a penalty, apparently, against Lorain. It was a personal foul was indicated. So Lorain's going to have to kick from the 20. Now they're saying, no, it was on them. As that's Jeremy Wilt and Coach. So let's see now. Coach McFarland is saying, no, not us, them. And I know he wouldn't make that up.
I don't remember the play.
I don't remember seeing a flag. Personal foul on the defense. And you know what? It may just be enough of this, tackling after the whistle. Now he's gone 16 yards. It should be on the line. Okay, Lorain will kick from the 45, which puts you back in that onside kick territory.
Yeah, you watch Sherm this time. He'll hit it to the left or the right, up the middle. He practiced a couple different ways I've seen him.
That makes me feel good to know that. I mean, he's got it angled a little bit more than usual. He may be going to go for the pop-up here. 5:55 to go. Kicking to our north. Saunders puts it on the ground through the wickets and out of bounds, and they say it wasn't touched.
But if it wasn't, it went right through his leg like a shortstop.
That's either E6 or... So now they'll discuss it.
Yeah.
And it's going to go to the 20, I think, because remember, it's from where you kick.
Yeah, it's not the 35. They're making a mistake. I think it's 25 yards from wherever you kick.
So this is an error.
It's 25 yards from wherever the ball was kicked from.
It should be the 25-yard line. In fact, we kicked from the 45. It should be the 20-yard line.
It should be on a 20-yard line. And I think there's another three-man conference back there.
They're voting.
And they're trying to figure out what it is. You know, Lorain's staff has a storied football official in Ed DeHanis on the staff. He should go out there and kind of pull out the book.
Yeah, he helped write it.
When they were using stone tablets, I think. I know that rule like the back of my hand. It's always 25 yards from wherever the ball was kicked from.
Right, because it's the same as if it were a safety and you're kicking from the 20, you're giving it to him on the 45.
Yeah.
So now, I think they just decided that...
Call timeout and let's discuss it. Or kick over
Now
again.
It looks like they're going to make him kick over because they don't want it at the 20.
They called...
Illegal procedure.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
That's the right call.
That's the right call.
Now that should put it at the 50 because we kicked at the 45. So now the Warren's going to have to push back 5 more yards.
They'll have to be inside the 40.
Right.
That was easy. They said, Coach, why don't you just accept the penalty?
Yeah. Yeah, that's where it would have been. It would have been at the 20. You had the rule right. So, after a debate worthy of the Model UN, Lorain will kick again. Saunders from the 50 this time. Straight ahead down the middle. Caught it about the 7 or 8. Return man straight ahead. Had a seam. That looks like it might be Grant Williams, 32. And he gets out over the 30. And Mincy tosses the kicking tee to the side, and the Titan defense comes out now with a 2-score lead at 14-0, 5:48 to go in the half.
Now the question is Warren going to stay with the running game, even 2 scores behind?
Well, it's still the first half. There's the give straight ahead. And the power inside run, that's Sterling Jeffries, but 33, Kamari Murray finishing the run for a gain of about 5. And that hasn't been, Lorain hasn't stopped that fully for a series yet. They just have gone away. Now, Huff's going to come out, Aaron McDowell's going to come in. That looks like it might be an equipment issue.
Or maybe a little bit of instructions of what to do on that particular kind of play.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't tightening his helmet. Maybe he was getting his attention. 4 down for the Titans, 3 backers. Motion for Warren, straight ahead. Give for a couple is Murray. As they unpile, that's Torres on top. 3rd and a couple. 41-yard line. Clock ticking. We're at 4:45 in the half. Soul setback's going to get a toss sweep this time, and he's not going to make it. He's going to be close, but the depth perception's so hard that I think he got no gain.
Yeah, I think
because those boxes and sticks are 3 yards off the field usually, so they're going to mark him at the 41, and it's going to be 4th down, and now it's decision time for Warren.
My guess here, they're going to say we got to go for it.
They're 2-7. Yeah. They've been riding 2 hours on a bus. You know, you came here to play football, right? So big play here because the Titans, with 4.5 minutes left, if they could take it over, they could really grab hold of this one. Turn, give, straight ahead, tailback hitting the backfield. 1st and 10 Titans.
Didn't make it. Yeah. I still think it was the right call.
I do too.
You're down 2 touchdowns.
And you know what? Whatever the instructions were for Aaron Huff, he understood.
Came here and made the tackle.
You know what? That wasn't, excuse me, I said Aaron Huff. That's McDowell. Aaron McDowell got in there and made that tackle. 1st and 10 Lorain, 41-yard line of Warren. And now here that the gamble has failed, Lorain has a chance to put a little distance between.
No, I think their ability is to wear down that big line and go around to make them run a little bit.
And as we look out here in the not-heated press box, the windows are in, and the rain is falling. Lots of umbrellas in the stands in front of us. So let's see how that affects play. Williamson. Option, cuts it up, didn't get anywhere, lost a couple. I think he met the big fella.
Yeah.
76, James Daniel, 6'4", 300.
Well, they pushed him back about 6 more yards, so they gave him a lot of forward progress, which was good for Lorain. He only lost 1.
Yeah. Clock running, 3:50 to go in the half. Lorain with 2 timeouts should the occasion warrant it. Near side, Neal and Barry. Williamson wants to throw, squares the shoulders. He's going to get away, going to get down inside the 40, 35, 30, out of bounds, down near the 25. And that is what you call your escapability.
Wow. That's all I can say about that. I thought he was sacked for probably about
I thought it was going to be 3rd and 19. Yeah. Here we get a look at it as the fall leaves go blowing by. Look at you talk about players, the game slows down for them. Look at Eddie.
Yeah.
Look at Eddie. Look at the patience here. Look, I think I'll go out
here. Nice block.
Yep.
Yeah, Carlos Chavis had a great block.
And then Rashad Berry got him an extra 5 as well. 1st and 10 Lorain, 26-yard line of Warren. Straight ahead, Saunders had a hole that time, got down to about the 23 before he had his pins taken out from under him. But as always, Sherm falls forward.
Yeah.
That's spotted at the 24, maybe not quite as much as we thought. Give him 3. Williams, that gives to Saunders again. He's down inside the 20 to about the 19 as we approach and hit 3 minutes in the half. 3rd and call it 4.
Now they got 2 plays to make the 4 3 yards. Is it going to be a fake or going to go wide?
They're going to go wide one of these times. Williamson, there it is. Chavis cuts up inside. Nice cut there. You see, there's your sophomore running back that learned something. He tried to outrun him in the first quarter and lost 4.
Inside, and pick up 4.
And moves the sticks down to the 13-yard line. Nice big run for Carlos. He cuts it up and beats a man and then finishes it. And the rain's really coming down out there now, Tom.
Yeah, that's going to slow down everything. But a good thing that Lorain got the 2-touchdown lead. Ooh, that's jumping into that neutral zone.
Straight ahead. Saunders. Eddie took a blast from the past in the backfield. One of the backers shooting the gap on the opposite side. You know, that's one of the ways they say you stop the option plays. You hit the quarterback every time.
No. Who ran that ball? That was
Saunders.
Sham.
So he got 4 down just inside the 10, 2nd and 6. Now it's Chavis in the backfield, the 3 receivers to the near side, and a whistle and timeout. Lorain, Neal, Barry, and Saunders were out here. Minute 54 to go. Titans knocking on the door, trying to give themselves some breathing room at the half. Tom, funny things have happened all year. I'd sure like to be up 3 scores at the half.
Yeah.
This game means so much, and
exactly.
And, you say the weather slows things down, but it also makes the footing treacherous, and
makes big mistakes happen.
I was going to say
those kind of things.
It evens out the teams a little bit because it doesn't matter how you can be all Ohio and fall down.
Yeah.
And certainly both teams have some players that'll be talked about for postseason type honors.
You can imagine what the halftime talks are going to be. You got one more half to play. You got to do it. Those kind of things. Lorain talking about you got to do it to.
This is what you've worked all year. Yeah.
And for Warren Harding, you heard you talk about the pride. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's raining out there.
2nd and 6 at the 10. Williamson give to Chavis. He didn't get much. Maybe down to the 7 or 8. Looks minute 45 to go. Clock running. Going to be 3rd down and call it 4.
Yeah, I'm looking for Eddie to run around in somehow. I don't know how he's going to get around there or throw the ball. No, they got 2 plays to make.
You might see Rashad over the middle with him and Sherm crossing here because it looks like that might be available. But Eddie hadn't had much time for things to happen. There it is. And it was Sherman Saunders on the slant. The middle was there. You could see it in the way the defense was set up. And they ran the first play of the game that they tried to pass. Remember they faked the swing to Rashad?
Yeah.
And they went back to it. And Sherm crashed over the middle, and we're going to give him the touchdown from about 7 yards.
8, yeah.
8 yards. So 20-0. A minute 18. Steve Arnold's back. Gamble backfired. Now Barry's in motion, and that's going to be too much time.
Or
timeout. They did get the timeout in. I was looking at the official under the goalpost, who's the watch guy, and he started to move his hands.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. With
the nice thing about using timeouts on extra points, it means you're scoring touchdowns.
Yeah. You hate to waste them, but you can't take them into the locker room with you.
You can't take them with you. So there's a minute 18 to go in this one. 20-0. Lorain grabs a hold. Big stop by the defense sets this one up, Tom.
Yeah.
3rd and 2, and they hold for 2 plays and take over just right around the 40. And march down. A big run by Eddie Williamson got him down close. And then...
And took 4 minutes off the clock, approximately 4 minutes off the clock.
Motion again, and it's going to be the jet sweep. And Rashad Berry's going to lose his gription and fall down.
Yeah.
And they're not going to get the conversion.
Yeah.
They ran that last week at Heights for one of them. Minute 18 to go in the half. Lorain 20, Warren nothing. And now I feel better.
6 runs and 1 pass. Now that's about their type of football. Run the ball, and throw a pass for a touchdown. Yeah.
Eddie's got to be 100 yards passing, huh? 2 touchdown passes.
90 and 8. Yeah. Yeah. 2 for 2.
2 for 2 for 98 yards.
And 2 touchdowns.
Yep. And how many runs when he pulled it down when he didn't have a receiver?
Yeah. So that puts Sherm up in the scoring with 13 touchdowns in that thing. Now Lorain didn't have any of the leaders because so many of their people were spread out.
He's one of the leaders in the sub-Demario McCall division.
Yeah. But you look at the whole list, there's no other North Ridgeville kids besides McCall. And the kid, even the Journal does a lot of the out west. The kid from Norwalk, the Turner boy from Norwalk, he has over 2,000 yards. But he's the only one from Norwalk that runs the ball.
Dribbler down to the 30, picked up there, brought back out of bounds, crossing the 40.
That's the kind of kick you hope the receiver puts his knee down to field it.
That was 34, Kalen Simpson. So with a minute 12 to go, Warren will take over in pretty good field position. This is right about where they gave it to us. Just outside the 40. They're going to mark it at the 42. And they don't look like they're done.
My guess is Lorain's going to be in a 3-man because they're going to be putting the ball up in the air to try to score in a minute.
Too deep. They look like they walked Orsler away on the slot guy. And they're going to roll this way to the near side and throw it wide. He's got a man, but he threw it to the band.
Yeah.
What happened there? Did we hit him?
Yeah, we hit him.
Okay, and the receiver?
Yeah, Robert didn't have to hit him. He went up high, missed the pass, and then Robert came down to hit him.
And that's going to end up being a personal foul. The ball was uncatchable.
He got scolded for it, too. I know exactly what he was saying, too. You're a senior on a team.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not the kind of play a senior makes.
So down to the 43, and, in 5 seconds, they picked up 15 yards, and the clock is still stopped on the incomplete pass.
They have to throw. Sam has 3 interceptions on the year, so he's probably leading the Titans in interceptions, but KD came up with 2 last week.
Yep, he's on safety on the near side. They're going to run the draw. Murray, big hole, he's going to have 10, and going to be another first down, and just like that, Warren is in the best shape they've been in all night. Down to the 32-yard line, and they'll take time. This is very, very similar to the end of the half last week when Cleveland Heights drove right down, and it was a KD interception that stopped things.
Yeah.
We've got exactly 60 ticks on the clock. Lorain is up 20-0. It was sloppy early. Neither offense could get untracked, and with a minute 59 to go in the first quarter, Lorain was pinned deep on their 10-yard line, and it was a near disaster. The snap went over the head of Eddie Williamson. He tracked it down in the end zone. I think Tom and I were both rooting for him to run out of the end zone. He picked it up, rolled to the near side, and found the big fella, Rashad Berry, at about the 8-yard line, all alone, and he pitched it to him, and the only question was whether Rashad was going to run out of gas because he had a convoy on this side of the field with him, and he went 90 yards. And just like that, Lorain was on the board. Chavis picked up the extra point, and it was 8-0 at the end of the quarter. But now, for the first time, Warren is threatening. I formation, quick pass out to the wide receiver. Good hit out there, but again, a gain of about 6. Whistle, timeout, Warren.
He's forcing their timeouts. So he kept them in bounds.
Short of the sticks.
Yeah.
But they're inside the 30 at the 27. So, second quarter scoring. About halfway through the quarter, Lorain on a march. And it was Sherman Saunders with the final 2 yards on an option pitch from Eddie Williamson. Eddie took the shot, and Sherman got the girl.
That's one way of putting it.
And he walked into the corner, and the run failed, and it was 14-0. And then just moments ago, after a big stop by the Lorain defense, turned Warren over on downs on the Warren 41. They marched down, and it was Eddie Williamson, 8 yards in the air to Sherman Saunders, who ran a little slant pattern from his slot receiver position, and there was no safety because there were 3 wide.
Yeah.
And very nicely done. Eddie's 2 for 2 in the air for 98 yards and 2 touchdowns.
If there's one fault I find with these last 2 games, it's extra points.
Yes.
It's extra points.
So,
but as long as you're missing a lot of extra points, it means you're getting the 6 for the touchdown.
Straight ahead, nowhere to go, and stopped right at the line, down for maybe a gain of a couple. That was Kenneth Washington making the play at the 25. Going to be 3rd and 3 here. Clock ticking. We're at 35 seconds. Straight back to pass. Throwing, has a man, dropped it. Well, the good news for Warren is it stops the clock with 31 seconds. The bad news is it's 4th and 3.
Yeah. If I read the scoreboard right, they're out of timeouts?
They have one left.
One, okay.
We are out of timeouts. Lorain out of timeouts, Warren with one left. Of course, they don't need it here. It's stopped because of the incompletion, and boy, do they take some time. Quarterback Lynn Williams over to the sideline to talk to Coach Arnold, and now has the play and brings him up. He's going to go under center, single setback, 3 receivers near side. I wouldn't be surprised to see the draw. Nope, he's going to roll this way. Rashad's got him.
What a play, yeah.
And that's why he's going to go to Ohio State, Tom.
Yeah.
Because he took on the blocker and kind of vaulted over him with one hand and pulled down the quarterback. This is some kind of athletic play. Here it is again. Williams has it, fakes, rolls out. He's got a man in front of him, and you see Rashad just getting past and jumped up to block the ball and came down on the quarterback.
I think that jumping off his feet is what they say, never leave your feet, but he left his feet, came down, and still made the play.
Now it's 1st and 10. Lorain's 60 yards away, and they're going to go into victory formation and get into the half. Williamson's going to go under center. This is not something we work a lot on, going under center and taking a snap. Eddie's got it, and he goes to one knee. The clock never started. They begged it to start, and it got going. So we'll call it a half. Lorain 20, Warren nothing in Game 10. Lots on the line. We'll be back to talk about it. But first, let's take a look at the Lorain High School Marching Titans.
work to the sounds of Don Omar. Join our marching tongues as they tighten up with Zumba. Falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand. Creatures crawl in search of blood to terrorize your neighborhood. And whosoever shall be found without the soul for getting down must stand and face the hounds of hell and rot inside a corpse's shell. The foulest stench is in the air, funk of 40,000 years. Grisly ghouls from every tomb are closing in to seal your doom. And though you fight to stay alive, your body starts to shiver. For no mere mortal can resist the evil of the thriller.
Back here at George Daniel, the Marching Titans under the direction of Tim Civic with their finale for the fall football season at George Daniel. Hopefully they get to play again next week, Tom.
Yeah, that's what we're all hoping for. Last week was a good week for them. You know, Leary won, Scott won, and the teams that they beat all won.
Saunders' kick's going to fly out of bounds on the fly. And they got to get him one of them square-toed shoes. Yeah. So it'll go to the 35, and that's where Warren will take over. Resetting. It's Lorain 20, Warren nothing. 8-0 at the end of the quarter. Lorain tacked down 2 touchdowns in the second quarter to be where we are now. And, of course, you know, Lorain, with just about everything on the line in terms of playoffs, they, with a win, are about 99% sure of making it. Now, this is a new formation with an unbalanced line for Warren, and they run to the unbalanced side and get about 3.
This is one of the formations that they were practicing real hard against on Monday because they put the 2 big tackles over on the same unbalanced side.
Yeah. And they ran a tight end to the near side, so that was Nas Bohannon crashing down from the near side defensive end to get a piece of that tackle along with Aaron Huff. Second and about 7.
See, now they bring the 2 big boys on this side.
Now they're on this side. They're unbalanced. In fact, with the 2 receivers, and they fought straight ahead. Submarining that time was Huff.
I think that was, yeah.
McGuigan got in there late. You know, Sam hadn't gotten a call tonight, and he's usually all around the ball, but with the spread formation and the guys up front doing a pretty good job.
If he doesn't make a tackle all game, more power to him.
Yep. So it's going to be 3rd and 4. Titans defense came up big on 4th and short late in the second quarter and gave them a short field for their last touchdown. Gives straight ahead. He's going to have the first down and a lot more. That's Murray across the 50. Flag there.
Doesn't that almost have to be a face mask flag?
It's either got to be that or targeting, I would think.
What did it call?
I heard face mask, but I haven't seen a signal. Personal foul in any event. 15 yards, and Warren Harding with sudden life now down at the 32, 1st and 10. They got down here. I didn't see it on the...
They were back to the unbalance with the big tackles to the right.
They saved it for the second half. They run away from it this time. Not much there, but spinning off a tackle and making something out of nothing for about 4 is Murray.
Yeah.
So going to be second and call it 6. And they're at the 28. And this is just what you didn't want if you were a Titans fan, is to come out and give them a sign of life. Three receivers to the far side. It's going to be the toss sweep, cutting it back off the tackle and getting good yardage inside the 25.
I think we just mentioned Sam, and I think he's the one who made that shoestring tackle.
Going to be 3rd and a yard for Warren. We've seen they're in 4-down territory. So play coming in from the sidelines. Lynn Williams, number 2, the quarterback, is a sophomore. He's under center. Murray is the tailback, 7 yards behind. Turn gives straight ahead to him. He's going to have a first down.
You're running behind that big line this time.
And they're going to mark him at about the 26, or 21, excuse me. And they'll move the sticks. 9:18 to go, third quarter. And Warren's had the ball the whole time. Big play in the drive. It's a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah. That's what keeps drives going a lot of times.
I formation. Regular. They're unbalanced again.
Unbalanced.
Yeah. And they run away from the big guys and short-siding it. And down to about the 16 is Murray.
See, I think Lorain is countering, putting Rashad to the strength.
Well, that's his side normally.
And
the far side.
So
I didn't know if they switched
that's
it. That's
happening, and putting some more people over there. So now the counter would be run back against where they have less people.
Now they put McDowell in for Huff for a minute.
Unbalanced right.
Yep. You've got a guard and a tight end on the near side. If you're wondering what we're talking about with unbalanced, they move the tackles together, and then they run straight ahead behind the center and down to about the 12-yard line, where it's going to be 3rd and a yard. It's been all Murray this quarter. Now 34, Kalen Simpson in. He's at fullback, though. The tailback is Quindez Stubbs, number 22, a 5'10 senior. And they got away with leaning there, but they didn't get much.
They didn't need much.
Right. I'm not seeing a first down signal. I'm seeing a 4th down signal. Whistle. Now they're going to measure, I think. Both of the sideline officials threw their hands up in 4th down. Not that that means anything. That was Stubbs, and he was on 1 foot when they snapped the ball. And he was leaning to the. He wasn't leaning forward. He was leaning to the right. Well, this is going to be close either way.
Yeah, I see.
Both teams are pointing.
White shirts pointing one direction, and the blue shirts are pointing the other direction.
And half of them were right. It's a first down for Warren. 1st and 10 at the 11. And this has looked rather easy, quite honestly.
Well, they're tightening up now.
They saved the unbalanced look. Now they're back to the normal look. Twin receivers to the far side. Toss sweep that way. That's Murray. He's got yards. He's got a touchdown. There's the signal.
I think that, look at this replay. I think they were unbalanced again that time.
Were they?
Yes. They get those 2 big boys over. They just wall everything down. He's nice little run that.
Yeah.
Got to give him credit.
They'll try the conventional extra point. Number 1, Nate Marchek is the kicker. Snap back, spot, kick up, and good. 20-7 as the Titans contemplate offense for the first time in this half.
That was almost a 5-minute drive. But the clock sometimes works against you when you're 3 touchdowns down.
And the Titans will get it for the first time. They have 3 touchdowns on the board. Yeah. And the defense will meet over here on the sidelines to talk about that unbalanced look and see what they can do about it. Coach Akers and some of the guys.
You know, see Coach Wilton and Big Huff are the defensive people got to iron this out. Because that was what Warren was destined to do. 8 rushes that time, aided by a 15-yarder.
And, you know, good field position off the kick. So Warren will kick. This is Marchek, his 2nd kick. He opened the game with 1. Deep for Lorain, 11 Mincy, 10 Davis. Intermediate receivers are Barry and Neal. That's going to bounce down to Kevin Davis at about the 14. Kevin straight ahead, makes a cut, gets behind his blockers, and plays rugby. And the surge is out to the 40.
You know, I talked to the official at Cleveland Heights and got his definition of aiding the runner. if you're pushing the runner, you're not aiding them, you're kind of blocking. But if you're pulling him from the front, then you're aiding him because it's an unnatural thing. You're not blocking, you're pulling the runner.
Okay, and we had that call, but we didn't know what couldn't see the infraction from the replay.
So a lot of those scrums you see, that's not aiding. You're just kind of pushing and.
So 1st and 10 at the 40. Williamson's got a full backfield with Saunders and Chavis. Near side, Barry and Neal. Roger Jones over the ball, snaps it. Eddie's going to take it straight ahead. 42, maybe the 43, and not much more.
See, I think he ran.
Did he fumble? I guess one of the Warren players flipped the football to the official.
Long after the whistle.
Long after, yes. So give him a couple, and it's going to be 2nd and 8. Now Warren has made the adjustments and made some good plays offensively to get back in this thing. Now it's up to the Titans offense to answer. Snap high, Saunders the give, straight ahead, he's got a hole, he's at the 40, he's at the 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, to the house!
Yeah.
Good read by Eddie Williamson.
Yeah, I think Warren, they spread out to stop the outside run, and they just ran Saunders right up the middle where they used to have the big man playing nose.
Sherm Saunders, 58 yards straight ahead between LeBoy and Jones for the touchdown. And that's how you answer.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
A minute 4.
Even touchdown for touchdown. Now that puts Saunders
over 1,000 on the year for sure.
Yeah.
And they'll go for 2, full backfield. Twins to the near side are Barry and Neal. Williamson calls the play. Wants to throw it, going to throw it out to Rashad Berry, and tries to stretch out and just didn't get there.
Yeah.
He needed one more step, and they had his foot.
He needed one more inch on that reach of his, and I know that reach of his is probably about 6 foot.
Yeah, he's a big fella, but 26-7 now. Lorain on top by 19. So good answer by the offense. Now the question is, what did the defense figure out, Tom?
I'm hoping you do it with personnel and you just put an extra person over there. That would be my solution. Put another person over there against those big guys.
Walk up the safety?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now.
And bounce the linebackers over one. You know more than I know. But it would seem to me that we are getting just outmanned at the point of attack there on that last drive. Tom, we talked at halftime, and let's give a shout out here while we have a chance. These 5 guys certainly took over the Cleveland Heights game in the second half, and with that drive to start the third quarter, maybe up to more of the same as we watch Sherm go straight ahead. Offensively, the guards, Chris Mayer and Nelson LeBoy, and center Roger Jones, the 3 seniors on the offensive line that just spring those dive plays so many times. And then on the outside, you've got the big fella, junior Josh Fenn. And at the other tackle, number 76, a sophomore, Sly Worthy. And they have just done, as you said, Lorain's got 3 guys with a total of about 2,500 yards rushing. Well, they don't do that on their own, and too often we're worried about who's getting the glory and who's carrying the ball. But the guys up front, Mayer and LeBoy and Fenn and Jones and Worthy, want to give them a big shout-out tonight.
Yes.
Because not just tonight, but game after game, season after season, the Lorain Titans offense moves on the ground because of their efforts and the efforts of the talented backs.
Like Josh Fenn is a big boy at 300-some pounds, but Mr. LeBoy is small by stature, but his heart has to be 10 times bigger than his, because he is just tough as nails. I watched him in practice.
That one hit him down to the 22. It's picked up there, brought back outside the 30, maybe the 32. Picking it up was Marlon Richardson, number 3. Quentin Pardon, 41, was one of the Titans there. He picks the ball up and hands it to the official, and that's where we'll start. So we've played 3 ticks short of half a quarter here in the third, 6:03 to go, and each team with a touchdown on the books. The tail end of the ball's on the 30, and that's where Warren will start their second drive. 26-7, they're down 19. Now there's the unbalanced look to the far side. Straight ahead give to the tailback. And
see, they've run away from the power set as often as they ran to it. But that's the chess match that's going on out there. You overload to the power, they can run backside.
That gain is 9. And, yeah, because it kind of costs you, you got to shift down, right, with the defensive lines, and it changes the blocking angles. They get a little bigger inside now. They take out Perry Mincy. You don't need a cornerback if there's not a wide receiver over here.
And you put 2 tackles.
And you put 2 tackles over there. You'll see 5 down in the stance now for Lorain. And there's a give, and they're going to come short side again, and this time they're going to have a first down, but the extra bulk made a difference.
Yeah, they put Anthony Vasquez in there at the other side tackle. He's another big boy along with Torres. Now they got 2 big hefties over there to combat their weight.
Now it's going to be Orsler come out and Mincy come back because they're going to need a cover guy on this short side.
It's going to be a chess match the whole rest of the game, yeah.
We're down to 5 minutes to go, third quarter, as Harding breaks the huddle. That's something we haven't said many times this year.
Now here's the play they scored on before, and now it's defense pretty well.
Yeah, much better.
There's the scrum you're talking about. See them pushing from behind?
Yeah. That's going to be right at the 45, so it's going to be a gain of about 3.5. And you don't want to give up a lengthy drive, but you like the fact that the clock is running, even though you're still in the third quarter.
Somebody's coming up.
Yeah, the clock is favoring the Titans, not the Raiders.
Going to be a reverse. And Nas made a big-time play right there. He fought the quarterback off.
Never touched the ball carrier,
but the quarterback did, because he pushed the quarterback into the ball carrier. And now that's Vasquez coming off, and Orsler goes back in.
So now they're probably going to go with that 4-man line because now it's third and
11.
Yeah.
See, this end of the line is an eligible receiver, and it's not a big tight end. It's passing far side. Got a man out there. Incomplete.
Oh, he's complaining about interference, but I don't think he was touched.
Well, they both have a right to the ball. Sam McGuigan was there and jumped for it, but Sam could have stood on his shoulders and he couldn't have reached it because it was over everybody, and it ended up over by the kicking net. So 4th and 11. Good job by the defense. Good job, coaches, on the adjustments. And Warren will go in punt formation, and the rain is falling. That's part of the problem there. You see that they had the receiver bracketed. No chance of a completion. Whistle, and this is going to be illegal substitution. So that'll cost them 5. Neal is deep along with half of McGuigan.
You know, I've never seen a punt formation like this in my life.
This is kind of the sort of punt safe. Low snap fielded, and it's away, and it's going to bounce a while, and that's okay. That's okay. We don't need to field punts in this weather with a 19-point lead. And it rolls dead at the 24, and that was a good decision by Aaron. And, you know, live to play another day.
Usually you see balance punts where there's a wide out and wide out on both sides.
Right.
But now they put 2 wide outs on one side. They always punt that way.
We got the math teacher's favorite time, 3:14 on the clock, third quarter. Lorain 26-7.
You know, I'm the only person that understood what you were talking about in the whole thing.
It's pie.
Yeah, I know what it was. Yeah.
Williamson still in the gun with the rain falling. They don't want to run the bad snap play anymore. Eddie's going to take it straight ahead. His blocker's got a lot more yardage than he did that time. As they close down pretty quickly, going to give him a gain of 2, and the clock ticks under 3. Two receivers to the short side. Neal is out here alone on the wide side.
See, they're opening up the center. They're not covering the center.
They're not.
That's their adjustment.
But they're trying to shoot the gap.
Yeah.
Option short side. Pitch. Nice cut. First down yardage. Cutting back. That looks like it's Carlos.
First time he got loose for big yards.
Yeah. He's going to have a bunch out to the 40. First down. Give him 13 on what was his longest run of the night. And again, Tom, let's talk about the offensive line. You know, pressure. We used to say in basketball, pressure bursts pipes. And the other thing that you'll hear is that pressure is cumulative. You just keep it up. You keep it up. You keep it up, and eventually it wears down the defense in whatever sport you're playing. And the offensive line of the Titans is sure representative of that. Straight ahead, Saunders might have missed the hole. He might have had trouble holding on to the ball there, too. It looked like he was kind of bobbling it as he went in. Got a yard. Minute 40 to go, third quarter. This quarter just flew by.
I've never seen this before from a Lorain team. They're huddling up.
Yeah, well, you know what? They're trying to make sure they take their time.
Yeah. Well, they did an excellent job at Cleveland Heights.
Yes, they did. Yeah. And, what I like about it is Eddie, who's so good at it, will have the clock in his face the whole fourth quarter. Big splits in the middle of that line. Look at him. Saunders, nowhere to go, and then he lost his footing. No gain. And the rain is really coming down.
You can see it better on the TV than you can see it live.
Yeah. And I want to credit this crowd that is... It's not the biggest crowd of the night, but the year, but it's not the smallest, and they're down there in full force with the umbrellas up because they want to be a part of what may be Lorain City Schools history. If the Titans qualify for the playoffs, it'd be the first time since Lorain High, the new version, has been in existence, and the only other time was back in the 80s when Bill Provident and the Admiral King Admirals made the playoffs. Williamson on a called quarterback draw. 40, 45, 50, 45 out of bounds, first down.
Who threw the great block on that was Sherm Saunders. Got him around the end.
And just so patient. It looks like he's just playing, he just looks like he's playing at a different speed. Watch this. Okay, I'm going to go now. Let's see, out here maybe. Okay, all of a sudden he's around the corner and down the field.
Even the camera can't follow him.
Well, and it didn't look like he was running real hard. He just, some kids you can tell when they're running fast.
Yeah.
Eddie doesn't look like he's moving as fast as he is because he's so patient with his vision. 1st and 10, Titans at the 41. Saunders, 40. 35.
He's just driving the Powell. Look at that Powell moving.
30. Now there's your run. We started this telecast. The word of the day, Tom, was finish.
And he did.
And he just did.
Yeah.
He turned a 1-yard gain into a 12-yard gain. Give him 11, and they're going to spot it right at the 30. The clock winds. The Titans walk over because there's 10 seconds to go in the third quarter. Lorain in control. Will there be a Week 11? Stay tuned. Back with the fourth quarter after this timeout.
Hi, this is Michael Peterson. I'm sitting here in the beautiful Sound Kitchen recording studios in Franklin, Tennessee. Did you know that for over 90 years, the American Legion Auxiliary has provided comfort, care, and scholarships for our military veterans and their families? There continues to be a great need. for scholarships for the children of our military veterans, as well as outreach for our wartime veterans and their families. Please join me in making a generous donation to the American Legion Auxiliary Foundation.
I'm Gary Sinise. I've had the great privilege of meeting and working with many of our country's heroes, our veterans, and heard their stories. But for the 58,272 names on the Vietnam Wall, their stories will never be shared. Help us change that. The Education Center at the Wall will put faces to the names, displaying photos, letters, and mementos of those who served, so their stories will never be forgotten. Visit buildthecenter.org and help us build it.
1st and 10 Titans at the 30 of Warren, beginning of the fourth quarter. Carlos Chavis straight ahead, takes on a tackler, stands him up, and then there's 10 of the defenders are huddled around Carlos because I could see a safety, the only one not in there. But nice run on first down. Let's credit him with 9. You know, we referenced some possible history in the making, and what we're talking about, of course, if you've not been following it, the Titans are in the number 12 position of the Division I, Region 1 playoffs. 16 teams make it. With a win tonight, almost certainly they would qualify. They'll be on the road if and when they make the playoffs, as Williamson gets nothing there on second down. Up there's a flag, and they're pointing at Warren as if somebody was lined up off sides.
You know, they always mention when you read those things that with help, and I think with help means
face mask.
With help means they need Elyria to win, Toledo Scott to win. The teams that they beat to win tonight will move them up. And what the schedule is favoring Lorain because they beat Toledo Scott and Toledo Rogers. They're playing tonight, so they're going to get points no matter who wins.
Right.
Of course, they would like Rogers to upset them because Rogers is a Division III, the Scott's 4, and I think Cleveland Heights is playing Shaw.
The Cleveland Heights beat Shaw last night.
Okay,
that might have done it.
And so Cleveland Heights is a Division I. They got points from them, so that's all in Lorain's favor.
Yep. Eddie cuts it up on 1st and 10 from the 11 to about the 8 on the designed keep. 10:55 to go. Well, Tom, Drew Pasteur runs the fantastic fit. There's a flag now. And it's going to be a yakking foul on the cornerback out over Neal. Oh, that's not Neal, is it? Is that Aaron over here on the side? Yes, it is.
I think 3 is, yes.
Yeah, 21's going to get the flag, and I mean,
what could you be yakking about after this? Wouldn't you just?
Well, you haven't caught any.
Yeah.
I don't think he asked him what he was going to be for Halloween.
Yeah.
If he did, Aaron said, a winner.
Yeah.
So Drew Pasteur had Titans with a win tonight, 99% probability of making the playoffs, which means basically that everybody that we played had to lose, and everybody else played had to win.
And that's not going to happen.
And that's not going to happen because teams like Brunswick and Solon were playing each other, and one of them was, Brunswick.
Yeah.
Was probably going to be eliminated on a loss, they had us 97% at 6-4.
Yes. Yeah.
So in all likelihood, what we are witnessing is a Lorain school qualifying for the football playoffs for the first time in 30 years.
And now they're just working for their positioning because right now they're sitting at 13, which means they would play like number 4.
Yeah,
But if they move up to 12, they'll play number 5.
Right.
So the higher you go, the team you get. But you never know because when you're up there 1 through 6 or 7, they're all good. So you never know how you would match up.
Right. The possible opponents include Berea Mid-Park, who's losing to Midview right now. Olentangy Liberty, Westerville Central.
I think
one of the Westervilles. St. Ed's, Mentor. Depending on the outcome of their games, with a loss would drop back to where we might see them. 2nd and 4 on the 4th. Williamson keeps it. Eddie's going to get stood up at the 1. 10:15 to go. That ought to... I'm not sure what... Okay, there's no such thing, I guess, as an automatic first down. So they're going to mark him at the 2 and say it's... The box says 4th down. The scoreboard says 3rd down. Eddie's going to jog over to the sidelines. He's telling him to score. Going to go over to the official and call a timeout now. Going to ask him to measure, I think. No, you know what they were doing? They were waiting for the hand to go up from the back judge to call the timeout, using all the time they could.
Yeah. Well, you know, the website that you mentioned, I happen to have some statistics from there, is they put our first-round opponents, Berea Mid-Park has a 24% chance, Menor has a 22% chance, and then the Westerville Center that you talk about is a 20% chance. So, but who knows?
Yeah.
There are a lot of things that are going to happen this last week.
It's not only the teams ahead of you and behind you what they do, but it's what the teams that they've beat do.
Exactly.
Because you get first level points, second level points.
Yeah.
But certainly it looks like with the first level points from this win that Lorain will be safely in the playoffs, and that's what matters most of all.
The only person you could call right now would probably be Jim Allen.
Jim Allen?
He'd have it all worked out to the letter, so we'll not do that.
And the problem is, I mean, like we said, there are so many interdependents going on, but I'm looking for football next week, Tom.
No, so am I. And again, you hardly care who you play because you know you're going to play one of them. You know you're going to go to their stadium because there's no chance for a home game. So we'll just button up and play them.
But, you know, as Eddie Williamson said to me today, so that means we're going to play on the turf, and that makes us better because we're faster.
They are, yeah.
Now, this is an interesting set right here. Kind of an inverted wishbone with Saunders behind Eddie. And to the surprise of no one, Sherm got it and lost 5. So that one has been in the bag for a while, and maybe take that one back and give it another look. The ball goes over on downs to Warren, but the Titans chewed up some clock. 9.5 to go in this one, and with a 19-point lead at 26-7, seem is the important word there, in control of this one. Midview now 2 scores up on Mid-Park. Of course, by the time you see that, hear that, it'll be a final as we run tape delay. Here's the jet sweep. Didn't go far. That was Marlon Richardson, number 3.
I think this was according to the coaches, this was Warren's second best play besides the power behind the big tackles, and they had a scheme to stop the jet sweep. Right. And I don't think they've ran a successful one yet, have they?
That was Nas Bohannon out there again on the contain. He stopped it a couple times as they seem to be running it toward him and away from Rashad. Now they buckle it down real tight in the I formation. One wide receiver now wing in motion, gives straight ahead, and not much there for 33. Murray, center of the defense, is there. Huff getting up. I see Torres getting up. You know, when you go to the unbalanced and you look at the two 300-pounders, you see the 2 300-pounders lined up against Kenneth Washington. It hardly seems fair, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now it's really
raining hard,
down, as the people without rain gear. There's the scene up at the lights now. Joe Bach's got a great. It's not snow, but it is heavy rain. Now there's a whistle, and the officials are going to call time.
Well, fans and teams have to get used to this. You know, we're going into November, because I've been to playoff games where they shoveled the field before they played, because snow will be coming.
Here we go, 3rd and 7 for Warren. turn, give straight ahead, nothing there. Out to the 10, maybe going to be 4th and 5. Coach Arnold, 90 yards from the end zone, decides to kick it in this weather, and just as good a decision as any, probably. Let's see if Lorain even bothers to put somebody back. I don't think I would.
I don't think that, well, no, they're not.
They're going to run their straight defense.
Yeah. You're going to let it roll anyway.
Right.
If it's a kick, so.
They blocked Rashad to the inside. Nice high kick. That's going to hit at about the 44, take a big hop to the 50, and skid dead.
Yeah.
That stopped like I wish my wedge would at the 48.
Well.
7:25 to go, fourth quarter, game 10 at Lorain. Let's talk here about seniors, because a lot of these guys are the names you hear. Number 1, Eddie Williamson. Number 2, Robert Orsler. Number 3, Aaron Neal. Number 5, Sherman Saunders. Number 6, Rashad Berry. Certainly we talk a lot about them. 7, Sterling Jeffries is a senior. Number 8, Bakari Sims. Number 9, Xavier Lorenzana. 11, Perry Mincy. 14's Malik Anderson. 24, Kyle Greenfield. 26, Orlando Diggs. Tommy Collins Jr., 45. Tristan Barnes, 46. Williamson's got the ball. 1st and 10 at the 48. You're not going to see much fancy here. Direct snap, Chavis caught it. That was a little bit different.
Hey, you know who's the most surprised person out there? I'm looking at Eddie, and he's looking like, yeah.
The wind took it. We just mentioned Chris Mayer, number 59, Nelson LeBoy on the offensive line, 64, Justin Simons plays on both lines, Roger Jones, Anthony Vasquez. Those guys are all seniors. And for them, this is a special night. This is their last home game no matter what. But for them, 4 years of hard work is about to culminate in something special. Now you've got Greenfield split out here to the left as they get some of the seniors on the field. That's Eddie cutting it up. 40, 35, 30, 20. Try to cut back and lost his gription down inside the 20.
50.
I'm going to give him about 30 on that one if it's the 19, which is what it looks like. Is there a flag? No flag.
They wiped it off.
You know what I think it was? I think it might have been a sideline warning. Gary Huff picks it up and tosses it to the official. You're willing to do that when it's waved off. Give him 32 on it down to the 17. Eddie's over 100 yards on the night to join Sherm Saunders.
Puts him at about 134, actually, unofficially. The stats taken by Ray Baraga here.
Okay. And as we said, Sherm went over 1,000, probably close to 1,100 at this point. And Carlos Chavis got to be right around 900. Saunders straight ahead down to the 15 and maybe a little bit more. Josh Fenn down there among the blockers that are going straight ahead. Once again, this offensive line has come together and just been dominating the second halves of these games. Kyle Greenfield is split out. Bakari Sims is inside of him in the slot. Williamson watching the clock tick under 5:20. Now he's set to take the snap. He's going to follow the back straight ahead. They've sniffed this out real well all game long. Eddie gets treated rather rudely.
He waited for some help.
Yeah. Well, he's not in any hurry. And as long as he's holding the ball, the clock's running. They haven't marked it ready for play. Yeah. And he's smart enough to know he gets 25 seconds from ready to play. So it's at 4:45 and ticking as Eddie jogs back onto the field with instructions. And I'm sure that the instructions are take your time and keep it on the ground. 3rd and 7 at the 15. Obviously 4-down territory. Points are not the goal here. We'll take them, of course, but running the clock is the important thing. Oops. Saunders looks for a hole where there's none. Got a couple. Lorain might have got away with moving early there in the backfield.
I think he was leaning. Putting Rashad back in. Taking Bakari out.
Well, and I don't know if that means they might want to look his way.
Yeah.
They put last week's game away on a third down. This is fourth down, of course, but third down pass that went for 60-some yards and a touchdown to Rashad. And you've certainly got Warren playing the run. It's going to be the jet sweep. Rashad's got it. Tiptoed until he got tackled at about the 19. Going to turn it over on downs with 3:38 to go in game number 10 for Lorain. And it's beginning to look like game number 11 is going to be on the schedule.
You know, when I mentioned snow in the playoffs, you hope Lorain gets snowed on because usually that means they're later in the playoffs.
That's right.
Second or third game of the playoffs.
So the ball is placed right at the 20. 3:38 to go. Clock stopped. 26-7 Lorain. 20-0 at the half. Each team with a touchdown in the third quarter. And this one the fourth quarter has just been back and forth. Straight back to throw. Williams has it. Complete, but then tackled for no gain. That was Orsler on the play. Jacob Thompson, the fullback, was the receiver.
I think Robert had it well sniffed out, didn't he?
Yeah. Kept him in bounds. They're going to give him a yard. They flipped the ball to the other side of the line is what they did. 2nd and 9, we'll call it. Clock is going to be under 3:10 here as they huddle. Pass. Doink.
Almost intercepted.
Yeah, there's what the wet ball will do. You had your first doink of the night as it hit the receiver in the face mask, and I think that was Kyle Greenfield trying, was it? Or let's see who's jogging off here. I'm having trouble getting a number there. 28, it's Huff.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah, Nas is out there with him. 2:55 to go. Clock stopped. 3rd and 9 for Warren. Straight ahead. Now it's going to be 4th and 9. No gain on that one. The middle of the line was there, including Chris Mayer, 54. Or is that Justin Simon? 64 it is. With the tackle.
I think it's just a wasted play running the ball up the middle like that when you're...
And they're going to punt. I mean, there's no 19-point plays in football. I think Warren is cold and wet and ready for a 2-hour bus ride. Punt formation. Titans with nobody back yet again. Punter drops the ball. Barry had his hand up, but it's going to hit and take a big hop, but who cares? It rolls dead inside the 39. And with 2:12 to go and Lorain up 19, I think we can safely begin celebration for these Titans. And, you know, Tom, we've talked about the seniors and the line and everything else. Coach Dave McFarland, Coach Bill Grooms, and the guys came in here. This coaching staff is the third different staff in 3 years that these kids have played under. And right from the beginning, there was a different sort of feeling around this program. And I've talked to a lot of people in Lorain County familiar with Coach McFarland, and you know everything that they've said about him has come true as he has brought this program together. And I don't want to. Oh, look at Eddie Williamson bust loose inside the 35. Tried to stay in bounds and they wouldn't let him. They threw him forward to the 30 and out of bounds. 2:04 to go. Eddie with another big run.
That probably puts him way up in the 160 range.
Give him 30 on that one. And just, he wasn't looking to score. He was just kind of looking to get some yards and stay in bounds, and they threw him out. But Coach McFarland and Coach Grooms and those guys have really brought this program a sense of, yes, we can.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as X's and O's, it's belief in self. And I think that the Titans, with the first game against Midview ending the way it did, we could have had here we go again, but it didn't happen. Chavis straight ahead. Carlos Chavis carrying a tackler. Carlos Chavis shakes him out to the house.
Wow. Yeah. He can do that better than any back I've ever seen. He just scatter legs,
31
off runners. Wow.
31 yards straight ahead. There's a flag.
Celebration, maybe?
Maybe it wasn't a flag. Maybe it was a pad. I saw something get tossed over toward where they're spotting the ball. And this is not running up the score. This is a sophomore running back with a world of potential shaking off a would-be tackler.
Or 4 or 5
yeah,
of them.
And staggering into the end zone. Finish is the word of the day. And Carlos Chavis finished the run, and he finished the Warren Harding Raiders, and he finished a 7-3 season for the Lorain Titans, and officially the bench is in celebration mode.
Jay, you were mentioning about, you're talking about McFarland, that if you read the paper this morning, they were interviewing Aaron Neal, and he said the same thing. They talked about 3 different coaching staffs, and he said every one of the coaches said the same exact things to him, but they believed McFarland because they knew he was talking from the heart.
Right.
And kids can, you can't, I don't want to say it, but you can't buffalo a kid.
Well, one of the things that I can still remember from an article 20 years ago in Sports Illustrated, they were talking to a successful coach, and I couldn't even tell you what the sport was, but what I can remember is the sign behind him that said, before they care about what you know, they've got to know that you care.
Exactly.
And that's what Dave McFarland has brought to this.
Yeah.
Not that previous coaches didn't care, it's just that a little bit different way, and I don't want to congratulate him, I want to thank him.
Yeah. Yeah, and they brought in wait to the play.
Well, again, we need to work on that extra point stuff, but that's okay.
They brought in Mike Akers, Gary Huff, Tommy Hicks, a whole staff from Westlake who has been here at Lorain before, moved out, got some different strategies from other places, and it came on back, the prodigal son kind of thing.
Yep. And, the coaches that have been here a while, the Jeremy Wiltz and Eddie Hall's not a long-timer, but he's a Lorain kid that came back to coach in Lorain, and Brian Joyner Jr., and,
Yeah.
and then the old-timer brings them all together, Ed DeHanis, who blocked for Red Grange when he was at Illinois, I think. Ed cleaned up after the 4 horsemen left.
Yeah.
That's how long he's been around football. But you know what? He's just that young. And he brings something special. It's really neat to see him out there and to see the kids interact with him. And congratulations to everybody on that sideline in this booth. And something else, let's congratulate Brian Corey for going out and finding the right guy.
Exactly.
This is a different kicker. Sherm's got the night off, I guess. Malik Rembert puts foot into ball, hits at about the 30, bounces to the 25, and brought out to near the 40-yard line where we will put it in play. Now for sure we'll see all of those seniors on. Tommy Collins Jr., 45, out there. Aaron Neal going to get the rest of the night off. Number 26, Orlando Diggs, comes in for him. A couple of more. Here comes Roger Jones, 68, getting a little look at defensive line. Minute 24 to go. Timeout, Lorain. And this is, let's make sure we have 11. Line up, fellas.
I'm going to get an umbrella, and I'll have this down there for you.
Okay.
We're going to get ready to send Mr. Bauer down to the sidelines to see if he can get a comment from a coach or two. Would love to hear from any one of them. And I don't think we'll get anybody to say who they want to play next week.
I won't even ask them that.
But I know they want to play next week. Okay, now we've taken attendance here. I feel like we're in Montana. We've got 7 on defense. Now we're getting a couple more. 36, Robert Davis comes in. Gives straight ahead. Lorain, this is going to be a big gainer because Lorain was spread out all over the field, bumped out of bounds at the 36-yard line. McGuigan on the tackle, 25, Isaiah Wells, sophomore running back with his first carry of the night. And you can tell because the jersey was clean. Clock stopped as he went out of bounds and the first down. 1:15, spotted at the 35. This looks like a new quarterback, but can't get a number from this angle. Turn, give. 30, and stopped there, pulled back by a host of defenders. Kyle Greenfield, 24, is there. 59, Nelson LeBoy was there. 66. I'm not sure if that's Sadi Sanchez or if it's young Mr. Larson. As the clock ticks under a minute, the field announcer starts talking about week 11. And the sideline gets a little bit crazier. 25 seconds and the clock is ticking. This, in all probability, is the final play, barring a penalty, a first down, or some such. Bobbling the snap and then keeping it and going straight ahead. That ought to do it. That's number 10, Samari Dean, the freshman quarterback. He's down at the 28, but it matters not. 32-7, and let's remember the Titans on this night. 7-3 on the year, and for the first time in their school history, playoff bound. Keep attention to the papers and such for playoff information and ticket information. Lorain will be on the road. We have no idea where, but they'll be on the road. And you see the players down there with, big hugs for the coaching staff. This one goes into the books, 32-7, a Lorain win. 7-3 on the year. And if you go back and look at the 3 losses, you kick yourself because if ifs and buts, the first game of the season ended in a 4-point loss to Midview with Eddie Williamson trying to get off a touchdown pass to give him the game and losing his traction on about the 20-yard line. And then they went to Bedford, and it was toe-to-toe with Bedford for about 3.5 quarters, and a fumble that wasn't a fumble decided that one. And then, of course, you go to Maple Heights, and it's 35-34 with 30 seconds to go, and you go for 2, and you're not sure if you got it or not. And okay, we're standing by because we're waiting for Tom Bauer down on the field with one of the coaches. Looks like it might be Mike Akers.
Go. Teams around me celebrating. I got Mike Akers with me. Mike, let me ask you a question now. We talk about all the big defensive people. We talk about Aaron Neal. We talk about Rashad Berry. How about you talking about some of those other unsung defensive players? Because you had a great defensive game against them.
Sterling Jeffries came to play tonight. This is probably Sterling's best game. Played at linebacker. Nice game. Thought we had a nice plan. We moved Orsler up and down. I don't think they couldn't get a read to where he was at. So, he's playing in the flat. He's coming off the edge. He's playing inside like a backer. So he had a nice game. But all around, we had a nice game. And Torres at the tackle, he had to take on them 2 big boys. He had a nice game. Across the board. I think we just carried out our game plan. You've seen it through the week. You know what was going on.
I talked to him about going to practice, and we mentioned Sam did not have a lot of tackles tonight, and that's good because that meant all the linebackers and things are taking this thing. Who else is some of the people on that defense that we're going to look forward to in the playoffs and maybe even next year?
KD. He on the punt returns and things he does, the kickoff returns.
Talking about Danny Davis.
Yes, and I said Sam, Aaron Neal, great game. It was hard for them to throw the ball. They wanted to come in and run the ball, but we jumped on our 34 a couple times. They had some big run tackles, but they was hard. When they tried to pass, they couldn't stop a shot. And Kenny Washington out the edge.
Okay.
We had with speed on him right there.
Okay, you get over there and help that team celebrating, and we'll see you next week wherever you go. Farland said I got to go with him. I'm sure I do. All right. Tom Bauer down in the field, thanking everybody here. And I got some players all around me. Everyone's happy at a game like this. All right. Thank you for tonight.
You know, one of the things that you have to do, first you have to learn how to win. And believe me, you have to learn how to do it. It's not something that comes natural. You have to finish games. And right now, these guys are learning how to celebrate, and it's fun to watch.
Robert
They look like they're going to do calisthenics.
Mike just said something about him. What do you think about this win, and what do you think about next week? Tell me what you think, Gunny.
This is an amazing win, you know, but we just got to look forward to next week and get better. We don't know who we're playing till Sunday, so we really can't watch film, but we're going to get it.
Okay. Congratulations to you. Great game. Congratulate the whole rest of the team.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, some games need a wrap-up. This game doesn't need a wrap-up. You're looking at the wrap-up. Game 10, Lorain 32, Warren Harding 7. Lots of people to thank. Club TV 20 members. Adam Garcia, Alexis Alicia, Alexis Sexton, Alondra Giselle Reyes, Autumn Sexton, Brianna Nethers, Connor Galloway, Daniel Lopez, Dominique Bennett, Juan Irizarry, Caitlin Tillman, Monica Amador, Noel Patton. Thank you, guys. We don't get your names on the air enough, but if you knew where we started from with Joe Bach and I in a little closet at the other end of the press box, you'd be amazed to see how far we've come. Joe Bach and Terry Trout, thanks so much for everything. Appreciate working with you guys every week. Look forward to it as we see a happy Rashad Berry and Tom Bauer down on the field. And Bakari Sims. These guys they're so happy it's beyond belief. It's been so much fun this year watching this team grow and win, and I can't wait till next week to see them again. So until then, for Tom Bauer, for Joe Bach, for Terry Trout, for Club TV 20, for statistician Raymond Braga, this is Jay Ferguson saying have a good night, everybody.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools TV 20 WLCS.
To purchase a high-quality copy of the program you just viewed, please call Lorain City Schools Television at 282-8400.